Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on Jason Tatum's third signature sneaker with Jordan brand, the Tatum 3. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Tatum 3 kind of features I guess like a modified herringbone traction pattern. It's more like a wave bone, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the traction on here, if you're playing on clean courts, you're really not gonna have any issues. I wouldn't say this thing has like the hardest bite on clean courts, but I would still say that your stops are still gonna be pretty damn good. When it comes to dustier courts though, I really had a problem when playing on dust. This thing is pretty much a dust magnet, and you will have to wipe. I wouldn't say you have to wipe like super often, but you will have to wipe, I'd say like at least like every couple minutes. Yeah, I mean, the traction on here on the dustier courts, like if you don't wipe, you will slide to a stop. You'll find yourself like if you're trying to like push off to do a movement, whether it's linear or lateral, you might feel your foot slip a little bit. And you know, that was just like something that I experienced on dustier courts. And the weird thing is, it's not always like that, right? Like sometimes you will slip, sometimes you won't slip. And maybe it's just dependent on how much dust has accumulated on the traction. But yeah, I mean, just keep in mind, like if you are playing on dustier courts, you're definitely not going to get the most optimal performance out of the shoe. But if you are playing on your clean courts, you really won't have any issues. Just remember, I still wouldn't say that the traction is like the best on clean courts. It's still good, it's just not the best. So moving on to the cushion setup, the Tatum 3 features a full-length Cushlon 3.0, and in the forefoot, you do have that Zoom Turbo. So if you all have played in anything on Cushlon 3.0, you'll kind of know how this feels. I would say for the most part, it is very comfortable. You do get like some adequate heel impact protection in here. You know, I wouldn't say it is like the bounciest in the heel, but it is very comfortable. When you move towards the forefoot, obviously you have that forefoot Zoom unit, and it does feel very nice. If you've ever played with a Zoom Turbo unit, you kind of know how it feels. I will say that this isn't like the bounciest unit that I've played with, but still, you know, you do get that typical Zoom feel, which is very, very nice. You do get that little spring in your step, and you get that impact protection in the forefoot as well. So yeah, I mean, overall, you know, it's pretty solid cushion setup, right? I wouldn't say that this is the most responsive feeling shoe, but you do get a decent blend of that impact protection and responsiveness, court feel, you know, that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, overall cushion setup in here is pretty good. It's pretty much what you would expect out of a Cushlon and Zoom unit combination, at least as of now. So moving on to the materials, the Tatum 3 features a bunch of different materials, but it's all pretty much textile. You have like this textile over here. You have some different textile over here, and on the toe box you also have like this like almost like jersey mesh feeling material. On the medial side, you do have like this other type of textile, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just like multi-textile upper, but it's all textile. There's like no raw materials, no leather, no nothing like that. However, you know, when it comes to the quality, obviously I think it could feel a little bit better, but maybe for the price, I think it's fine. When it comes to performance, I think it gets the job done well for the most part. I will, you know, kind of get to that a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, material usage on here, I think it could have been a little bit better just because of the performance. But yeah, I mean, you know, for the most part, it does get the job done pretty well. As you move towards the tongue, you do have like this regular mesh tongue. And I wouldn't say this is like the most padded, but I will say it does have enough padding where if you do like to crank down your laces, you really won't have any issues with the laces like digging into your feet. You also have like these wide flat laces as well to really just make sure that you don't have any irritation on the top side of your foot. So yeah, I mean, overall material usage, it's fine. I think it definitely could have been better, especially when it comes to the performance of the materials, which I will get to later. So moving on to the fit, I would say that the Tatum 3 does run true to size. I'm a slightly wide footer and I went true to size and I felt perfectly fine. The materials do loosen up over time, so break them in and you really won't feel any pressure up in that forefoot area if you are a slightly wide footer. Normal footers and narrow footers, I think going true to size is your best bet. If you have really wide feet, maybe go up a half size. But yeah, I mean, for me, the fit was good. It is very snug in the toe box area. It just overall felt pretty damn good. I didn't feel like anything was like too loose or anything like that. Overall, it felt very, very good on foot. So yeah, I mean, just make sure you do get, your right size. This does have a half booty upper to try to give you as much of a one-to-one fit as possible. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think the fit in the Tatum 3 was pretty damn good. So moving on to the support. This is where I had some issues with the Tatum 3. As far as like heel containment goes, it's okay. You do have an internal heel counter, which does lock in your heel. But I will say that the materials used on the shoe are just not great. Like you can see just how loose, or not how loose, but like how soft it is, right? And there are definitely times where I could feel my foot shifting, and it's definitely not the best feeling. On top of that, you do have these exposed foam cutouts in this midsole. So around it, you do have rubber. But because, some of this is exposed foam, especially in the heel, I felt it more predominantly in the heel than anywhere else. And if you ever land on your heel, on the outskirts of your heel, rather than just flat footed or right here on the end of your heel. So if you ever landed somewhere around here on the lateral side, or on the medial side around here, I would feel the cushion compress a little too much. And I could definitely see that being a problem where you don't have an outrigger or anything back here, right? So you're just kind of roll into it and you're gonna roll your ankle. And that definitely happened to me. I didn't completely roll my ankle or anything like that, but I felt that little twitch of that happening. So yeah, I mean, heel support is not the best, right? When it comes to the side-to-side movement on the footbed, I didn't actually have any issues there. The materials did a pretty good job of that, making sure your foot is nice and contained on that footbed. You do have this rubber piece right from the outsole that does wrap up onto the upper of the shoe to kind of act as a sidewall. You actually have this little foam frame on the medial side as well, which kind of just enhances that containment on the footbed. When it comes to hard lateral movements, I mean, I didn't really have any issues there. I wouldn't say this is the widest base, but I think it's wide enough where I didn't actually roll over doing hard lateral movements. And then when it comes to the torsional rigidity and stability of the shoe, I'm not even sure if there's a shank in here or not. But I will say that this is fairly stiff and rigid. It's not the most, but I think in terms of most people, you guys should be okay. I was perfectly fine. Maybe if you're a really, really heavy person, you might have some issues there. But me personally, I didn't really have any problems. But yeah, I mean, so support was just okay at best because of the issues that I experienced with the heel of the shoe. So the Tatum 3 retails for $125, and for $125, I honestly just can't recommend it. This is not something that I would personally play in. This is not something that I would keep in my bag. Just the heel containment support issues alone is more than enough for me to not want to play in these. But then when you couple that with the traction performance, especially on dustier courts, which most of us are playing on, I would not want to play in these. That's that. It's really sad, but that's just how it is. And the worst part about it is the Tatum 3 is actually the best Tatum. It is his best shoe that's been made so far. And that kind of tells you how bad the previous two Tatums have been. But yeah, I mean, personally, like I said, right, even though the cushion is overall nice and the materials do a decent job for the most part, it's just, I think the combination of the cushion and how they set it up in combination with the materials that just create this lack of support in the heel, and it just does not work well. I just had issues there, and that alone is enough for me to just not recommend the shoe. But if you did want to pick up a pair of these, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. But that's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button down below, leave a comment. It really does help me out. Check out these videos over here. And that's pretty much it. Until next time.